Boom. Welcome back to another show. How do you guys like the black background? That's right, guys. I put a curtain on my ceiling. Fire emoji from Sam. XC Roland says, elbow cough emoji. Elbow cough emoji indeed. Harry Maguire Jr. in the house. Hello. New Horizons, don't go live. It's a trap. It's a tarp. It's a tarp. I promise it's a tarp. Yes, indeed. Black curtains matter. No more King Miami. All right, hold on. There's a secret. There's a secret behind it. Do you guys want to know the secret behind this curtain? Are you guys sure? You want to know the secret? Okay. All right. If I can grab it. Yes. It's still there. Yes. It's still there, guys. It's still there. Wait, hold on. Oh, let me get it perfect. It's still not perfect, is it? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my golly goo. What up, Nestor? Bitcoin will go to zero. That's what Harry Maguire says. You know, you sound like this guy.
It's my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me. Bitcoin will go to fucking zero. And as I said, you know who's behind Bitcoin? Putin.
Putin. Speaking of Putin, we have a lot of talk about Mr. Putinini today, don't we, boys? That thing got some decent sliders. Yeah, dude, look, this thing was a pain in the butt to install, bro. I had the crappiest electric drill ever. It's not that bad. It's a Black & Decker, but like it's not very powerful when you're drilling through a concrete ceiling. And I'm not even quite sure I was supposed to drill up there. But I did anyway. Yeah, so I got this this kit from Amazon to install this thing on the ceiling, and basically like it's pretty clutch. Like you just put some spinners on it or some sliders on this rail. So what I was doing was drilling the rail into the ceiling, and then you can just hang whatever you want on the on those little sliders. My OCD make it perfect. Exactly. I feel the same way, Kyle. I know you feel that way. I know we share that together. What up, Randall? Blackout curtains for room are a game changer, though. I know the excitement, dude. It was actually cold in my condo today. I was very happy about that. DeWalt for the win. Better to ask for forgiveness and permission. Yeah, exactly. And look, they're not gonna know, dude. I'm just gonna it's just a couple. There's just a little bit of little drill bits in the ceiling. I'm just gonna spackle it over it. No one's even gonna know. No one's even gonna know. Oh no! Ah! As if I was gonna get that deposit back anyway. Listen, guys. As a previous real estate owner, as a previous landlord, I can tell you that no one ever gets their deposit back. Now, my last two tenants got their deposit back. They shouldn't have. All right, they shouldn't have. But I sold the house, and the person who purchased the house from me also purchased my tenants' leases. So I had to give the new owner the deposit. Dan Pena secretly owns Bitcoin. Yeah, of course. One simple trick to beat inflation. Feds hate him. That's right, Cody. Hey, didn't we used to have the it's not there anymore. Do you guys remember the hold on, I'll do it. One man, one mission. This summer, Jerome Powell is the super inflator. I don't think it's exactly. I think it was a little bit better than that. Yeah, slept worse till I put up blackout curtains. I need to swap them for thicker ones. Okay, so so these are blackout thermals. All right, these are blackout thermals, and then this white guy back here, this guy. So this guy right here, this is also like thermal whatever. It's supposed to block out. It's anti-thermal, and then I got one on the other side too, and the one in the middle, guys, the window that's behind me. When I came in here the first day, I went to go pull it up, and it fucking fell because it looks like they were having problems installing this stuff in the concrete ceiling as well. But hey, so now, guys, now basically I have like 2x blackout technology on my windows. I don't know, but hey, it's not bad. It's great, actually. Man, gotta love that slide. Gotta love that slide. I got my deposit back from my apartment. All right, you had a non-scummy landlord, sir. You had a good landlord.
Formal landlord.
Yes, indeed. Who knows what'll happen in the house I rent? Just get CBDC, bro. All right, we're gonna be talking about that today too. Actually, I was listening to a podcast right before this one. They're talking about CBDCs, which includes the Federal Reserve, which yeah, so if you guys remember, and let's just get into it, guys. Let's just get into it, boys. If you guys remember back when Obamacare came out, how the Fed was essentially responsible for making that website where you can go and select your health care, right? And this was not supposed to be a complex website. Basically, it was like a .NET, an ASP.NET application, web application that you basically were supposed to be able to browse through your options for health coverage, health insurance, whatever, right? In .NET. And if you guys know anything about .NET e-commerce stuff like that, especially with dealing massive amounts of data, you already have like a boatload of templated web application UI code and everything. And basically, guys, like you can with .NET, you can bootstrap that lickety split. It ain't pretty looking, but you can bootstrap it lickety split. So, and it took them 8 years to do that, and they didn't even get it done. So, speaking of the CBDC right here, one thing I'm wondering, guys, and I already believe I know the answer. You guys might as well, and because y'all are my audience, you guys obviously are very smart people. Why don't we just have a central bank digital currency already? Is it because do we have one? Do we not have one? Are they too incompetent to do it? I don't know. Check Chief Thick. Yeah, I got some big old thick legs. So when are you gonna automate the curtains to close? That is a great idea, my friend. I would have to put a motor up there and push all of them. Something like that. All right, boys. Federal Reserve and Mr. Putin, everyone's favorite person to talk about in 2022 for whatever reason. We're going to be discussing a little bit about both those two fellas tonight, or at least some stuff with Russia as well. But what did we see yesterday, guys? We had one of the largest year-to-year inflation number so far, right? 8.5%, 8 point, whatever the hell it was. Look, guys, when they measure CPI, their numbers it's got on. It's BS. All right. So, how do I know it's BS? How do I sit here so pompously and tell you guys that those CPI numbers are BS? Well, because the math behind them is FUCKING horse SHIT. And how do I know it's horse SHIT? Well, why did the CPI calculations keep changing every like 5-10 years? Because if you go back in the 80s, actually, friends, if we were to use the same calculation that they used in the 80s for the new CPI numbers, it would be around 15 something percent, 15.2, whatever. I don't know. Just goggle it, okay, guys? Just goggle it. Google March 2022 inflation with 1980 CPI. All right, something along those lines that'll give you the answer that you want. I would say it's higher than 15%, but that's probably because they're not including food or fuel. If they do include food, it's just like a basket of things. But anyway, they're not including fuel, electricity, anything that has to do with fuel. Okay. Pretty important, because what do we all know? Number went up on recently in the last month or so. Gasoline. Has anyone had to get gas in their car in the last, I don't know, 2 months? I'm sure you have. And they're also not taking into consideration housing, which these are like two of the things that matter the most, not just for people's personal balance sheets, but also for companies and prices of other things as well. So we know that that's horseshit, right? And people are starting to get concerned and focused on this inflation thing. We were talking about it on this channel a year and a half ago. People in the same sphere as I were talking about this much longer than a year and a half ago. Okay, and people are now saying, and this is on mainstream media. People are now saying that their primary concern isn't the COOF, isn't Crab 19. All right, it isn't Russia, Ukraine. It isn't like whatever insert current thing, insert current social, whatever. It is inflation. People, the average person, their main current concern when polled by the news was they were concerned about inflation because everybody feels it. Everybody feels it. Ice Cream Man administration, the Ice Cream Man, if you guys know what I mean, the Ice Cream Man administration is basically trying to tell everybody that it's all Putin's fault. And people are starting to remember that this stuff started happening long before Russia invaded Ukraine. But nonetheless, of course, Ice Cream Man, blame it on Putin, right? Right, Light? Blame it on Putin, right? We aren't going to have one. I don't think we are either, man. I don't think we are. At this point, it would make more sense. It would make, well, why would the CBDC, who we know sucks at writing code, not the CBDC. Why would the Fed, who we know sucks at writing code, they can't even write a goddamn basic .NET application to do one function in under 8 years' time? Why would we trust? They're going to make their own chain, and they're going to put smart contracts on top of it, and have because if they want to make their own CBDC, they're going to make it as beneficial for them as possible. They're going to be able to have a smart contract to stop, or they're going to have functionality in the smart contract for this thing, if it does support smart contracts, to stop your money from going to wherever they want it to take all your information, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's no way, right? However, we know that they're not smart and competent enough to do that, or at least time. And if Mr. Fed employee, if you're watching it now, I don't mean this to insult, sir. In fact, if you are a developer for the Fed and you need help, sir, why don't you just go ahead and go to developerdirection.com? We'll help you out. But anyway, we could actually teach you how to code, and you can build that .NET application in 8 hours and not 8 years. However, we know that they're not competent enough to do that. So are they actually going to have the time and competence to get this done? I don't think so. So at this point, the only thing that makes sense to them to do it fast enough is to go ahead and get capture a stablecoin that's already existing. In my opinion, Circle is USDC. Circle is like that's their best option in my opinion. But hey, what do I know? New Horizon says, if you had a central bank DC, it would prove we were right. Perhaps. Is it because Orange Coin bad? Everyone knows that Orange Coin bad. Sam says, I'm 6'8" because I keep changing the definition of foot and inch. True. Very true. That's exactly what they're doing with CPI. XA Roland says, what are they measuring? Gas double, used cars up 40%, houses 50%. They're just measuring milk and eggs. So what they're okay, so this is a good question. So what they're measuring, and I think you already know what the answer is. They literally get what they call a basket of goods, and it's like Dawn dish soap, random like laundry sheets, like things that if you don't need to buy, you're gonna be all right. You don't need to wash your clothes, you're gonna be all right. But if you don't eat, you're not going to be all right, right? Because you're going to die if you don't eat food, right? If you don't have gas to drive to work, to go to your job, because you can't afford gas, then you're definitely not going to have money, and then you can't afford anything. So then of course, they're avoiding measuring things like that in calculation, and not the fact that people's rents have gone up a drastic amount this year, right? Lumber 6x since COOF, yeah. Check chat, Josh. I found the inflators video. Oh, did you? Oh, thank God. Let me download this real quick.
1 year.
You guys can probably hear that. Oh my wow, Mo Shindaru went from spending $600 on gas a month to $1,200. Holy cannoli, dude! Yeah, that's bro. I just put the wrong clip. I'm so sorry. I didn't even click that, dude. That's scary, man. That's not good. 12. What are you driving, a rig, Randall? You driving a rig, right? Or are you just driving some kind of diesel truck? I don't know. Good evening to you, sir. The black background looks nice. Thank you very much. Snowman Mike says the Ice Cream Man administration. That's the first time hearing that, and it's amazing. Well, thank you very much. New Horizons. If we can't afford gas and lose my job, just leech off the government and identify as a new type of ginger. Yes, I'm ginger neutral. I'm ginger neutral. Your cab, a Prius. A Prius? It's costing you that much in gas, but you're being a cab though, right? So then that's why you're doing a lot of driving, I guess. But still, either way, you 2x'd your amount of gas that you're buying, right? That's not good. Cody said, my natural gas went up from like $25 a month to $85 a month. Holy cannoli. Yeah, dangerous times we're living in, guys. Dangerous times, right? Just kidding. But anyway, so guys, what are we being told about this inflation? Because people are indeed complaining about it. You guys in the chat are citing specific things and instances of things in your life that are costing more money. And it doesn't really make sense because it's like month after month, you go somewhere, you buy the same thing, and all of a sudden the price is significantly more than it was previously, right? Kind of strange, right? Like you go to Whole Foods one day, you buy a thing of mangoes. One day it's $6. You go the next week, it's $7.50. You go the next week, it's $8.50, $8.99, which is what it currently is. And I'm talking about personal experience because I do love my dried mangoes. But anyway, we're being told that this is all Putin's fault, guys. It definitely has nothing to do with the fact that the pipelines were shut down the first day that Ice Cream Man was in office. And it definitely has got nothing to do with the massive amounts of printed money that hasn't even begun to hit circulation yet. It's all because of that KGB guy over there in Russia, right? It's all because of that guy. However, people are starting to realize this, boys. People are remembering that people are remembering that they're being lied to. First, they told us what? There is no inflation. That's a conspiracy. There's no inflation. That's just a conspiracy. Then it was, we have a little bit of inflation, but it's transitory, right? It's transitory, whatever the hell that means. And now they're being told it's all Putin's fault, right? People are realizing, guys, that they're being lied to. People are realizing they're being lied to, and they're being told this by the people who are in charge, we'll say. And they know that these are lies, and they know that this stuff is not true because they can feel it. They're experiencing it. They feel it. When you go to the gas station, like Mr. Randall J said right here, when you go to the gas station and you get gas and you realize that it's costing you twice as much to fill up your tank as it did the previous month, you feel that. You experience that. You know that it's happening in the three-dimensional realm around you. It's not just some lie that they're saying that it is, right? If people are told, okay, yeah, inflation isn't real, but then they go to the gas station and their cost to fill up is twice as much as it was the month before, they know that it's heckin' BS, guys. They know that it's heckin' BS. Now, I might bring you all to attention on something that I found. It was quite interesting. Now, guys, why don't we all take a look at this here? Yes. What is this? Yes. So this is a poll yesterday by good old MSNBC, a centralized news outlet, right, guys? They're very trustworthy, aren't they? And even with their, what I would say, in my opinion, is fluffed up numbers, they polled people, apparently, and they asked people, who or what do you blame for this current inflation that we're feeling? Now, as you guys see in the yellow over there with the red underline underneath it, the lowest vote was what? Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And that's funny because that is what the Ice Cream Man administration and the news is telling us is the reason why. However, people, we the people, we know that that's not true, and we're voting that we don't think that way. So it's just very funny to me that, like, literally the narrative, people don't even believe the narrative anymore. And honestly, guys, I hate to say it like this, but most people, guys, are dumb. Most people aren't concerned about a sinking ship until it's already like 1 inch from going completely under, right? People are dumb. And that's the normie folks. So, sorry if you're a normal friend, if you're a normie, I mean no harm. I'm here to educate you. Please have a seat. Why don't you have a seat right now? Why don't you have a seat? Have a seat and get educated, my friend. And what is the largest thing that people voted for? What is people's number one belief that is to blame for this inflation? And as you guys can see, President Biden and his policies. At 38% of people polled for this survey believe that the inflation is because of the Ice Cream Man and his policies. So the opposite of what they're telling us, right? Now, these other two numbers, the Crab 19, pandemic 28%, and corporations increasing prices 23%. I mean, I don't know. Those numbers seem a little like a floof to me, but let's just say if we were to calculate this, in my opinion, it would be that people are blaming the Biden administration is probably more than 38%. But regardless, we know, guys, we know that the news doesn't always tell the truth, don't we? Shh. Your secret, guys, your secret is safe with me. I won't tell Anderson Cooper that you don't think that he's truthful, okay? Shh. Okay. All right, good. I'm glad we're on the same page. So people know, guys. People know. And they realize what's going on, even though they're being told the exact opposite. Huh. Is there a trend in the last 100 years of us being told the exact opposite of the truth? I wonder when else in history that's never happened before. Oh, they've never lied to us like that. Come on, guys. They would never lie to us like that. Drive toast at 10K miles a month. Holy cannoli, man. I guess you're just going to have to get a heckin' Cybertruck, bro. Crypto beats inflation. We're going to talk about that really, really soon. Actually, tonight, my friend. As Rilla says, if there is no boogeyman, no one gets paid. Good point. Wade Emery, good evening. 38% are on the right track. The rest are smooth brain. Yeah, dude, for sure. Guys, let me go grab some Wow. Let me go grab a La Croix. I'll be right back, okay? What's up, guys? I'm Josh, or as you probably know me, eLift Program, and I'm here to talk to you about Developer Direction. What is Developer Direction, you might ask? We are the ultimate IT network and training academy. Ever heard of Fight Club? Yeah, it's kind of like that, but with more computing power. We teach and give courses just like boot camps, but that's not all. We help people actually get jobs, unlike colleges, and we help people get better jobs with better pay and a better life. Here at DD, you don't get grades because your performance is reflected upon by how good you're doing in the real world. You won't accumulate hundreds of thousands of dollars in student debt because we offer a one-time yearly fee that's a fraction of that price. And you won't be wasting your time learning about the latest and greatest social trends because you'll be too busy learning about the latest and greatest trends in the tech and IT market. From courses to networking to problem solving to teaming up together on projects, giving and receiving mentorship, we've got it all. So whether you're a beginner who knows nothing about code or tech, a college student, or a 50-year vet, we got you covered. So head on over to developerdirection.com, sign up for the mail list if you want to keep up with our latest and greatest. Got no more LaCroix, boys. I did get the handy dandy fancy water thing. Kyle, I need some more LaCroix. What are we gonna do? We need to go to Costco, man. MPAI. Most people are idiots. Yep. Very, very true. What up, Alex? Good to see you. Good to see you tonight. Yes. So after that poll, that poll really, guys. I mean, it's just, guys. If it's on the lamestream media, if they can't even hide this stuff on the lamestream media anymore, you know that they done goofed. All right, they done diddly goofed. I'm sorry. This is for true. They done goofed. All right. So for the people that took that poll and the people that are awake and paying attention to everything that's going on right now, the one thing on everyone's mind is how long can this fucking craziness last? And there I go. I curse. Oh, well. How long is this craziness going to last, guys? How long is this extremely volatile situation that we're living in going to last, you might ask? I'm sure most of you guys here don't want to continue to see the price of gas and food and literally everything go up. And by the way, what else is going up? Well, Amazon's now adding a 5% oil and gas and inflation charge to all their purchases. Do you guys think Amazon is going to be the only company to do this? Because they're not. It's going to happen more and more and more. Just wait. Amazon's just setting the precedent for everybody, you guys. Amazon also no longer doing free 2-day delivery for Prime. And I noticed that last night. I think I might cancel my Amazon Prime membership. I might have to actually go to a place now, guys. Oh, no. So how long is this going to last, guys? Do any of you guys have any idea? I think some people could. We all have some theories, right? But there's people that are betting a lot of money that this might not last, or at least let me rephrase that. The current direction that we're going might not last for very much longer. Okay. And that probably made no sense because direction, you might ask. Well, like I said earlier, we're in a very volatile current world state. Specifically speaking, our financial, our layers of finance are, they're just all jacked up, right? They're all jacked up. Going up one day, down the next. And I'm not just talking about the price of the Boomer coin, guys. I'm talking about literally everything is just crazy volatile. So that's what I mean by direction. Up, down, left, right. Right? And speaking of direction, and speaking of the markets, might I point all of you into yet another discovery that thine self has made. Yes. George Gammon from Rebel Capitalist. Yes. He's such a distinguished gentleman. Yes. So, guys, why don't you all take a listen to this real quick? And this was pretty interesting, but I won't say any more. I'll let the video speak for itself.
Boy, some just mind-blowing content from Jeff Snyder, Mike Green, and Emil Kalinowski. They pointed out that the options market for the Eurodollar futures is potentially predicting that we will have negative interest rates. You heard me correct. Negative interest rates. So as the market is predicting that the Fed is going to raise rates, talk about Fed funds, to who knows, 2%, 3%, 4% and higher, the options on Euro-dollar futures are saying, oh, no. We might go up for a while, but maybe in late 2022, 2023, we will have negative Fed funds rate.
All right,
let's get right in.
So he like about 10 seconds after this, he plays a video where the guy discusses that. So if you guys aren't aware, what the Fed is currently doing right now is they're raising interest rates as a means to slow inflation by 25 basis points. All right. Now, why will people be betting billions of dollars on trading options that the Fed's going to lower interest rates so far into the ground sooner than you think late 2022, so late this year or early 2023, to the negatives, because the people purchasing those options, guys, if those things, the option doesn't happen, they're going to lose money. They're going to win. They're going to gain a lot of money on those options to sell if indeed those things do happen. So people are basically gambling. People with lots of money, people quite high up there, are gambling on their belief that, okay, we know the Fed is raising interest rates now, but we think we're willing to bet billions of dollars that the Fed is going to not only lower interest rates soon after, but go to the negative. So in the negative, meaning you get a car. You get a car. You get a car too, dog over there. Everyone, you guys in the audience, you all get a car. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. Everyone gets a car, right? Why would they think that? I don't know. Let's see what Mr. Good Old Gammon has to say about that. Let's see.
Into it, I want to go to this podcast from my good buddies here. And this is on iTunes, just FYI, or it's right here on YouTube, obviously, on Emil's channel. And that's Emil Kalinowski. And I've got the specific part where they talk about the option prices exploding for basically buying a call option, predicting that so at least I think I don't really know how options work for euro dollar futures, but from what I can gather, basically the price for buying a call option, if rates go negative, well, I don't know if that would be a call or a put. I don't know what it is, but they'll
get on with
explain
it,
it a
George.
heck of a lot better than I will here. So let me get the mic down onto the computer and we'll play this for you guys. There we go. And
You really hit on. One of the things that, unless you're very, very closely watching the euro dollar or Fed funds market, you might not be aware of is just that the value of options that would pay off in the event that rates went negative in this next cycle.
Negative.
Those are still negative, right? Those are exploding in value at the same time that the perceived certainty of the Fed hiking is rising.
I mean, that's the ultimate
Right
tail
now,
risk hedge, right? I mean, it's the far left end of the tail.
Yeah, I mean, that literally is basically a bet that the Fed is going to completely throw in the towel and say, you know what, just everybody, you.
Yeah. And that is right. That's a bet that the Fed's going to give up. Now, why would people be betting? Why would be people buying options to trade with for that with billions of dollars? Why? Can any of you guys think of anything in history, recent history, maybe, that the Fed raised rates and then back the other way? 2 + 2 is 4 minus 1. That's 3. Quick maths. Nope. Must be slipping my head. Definitely wasn't in 2008 with the housing market crisis. Did I even say that? What? So why, guys? Why are they people betting that it's going to go lower and that the Fed is going to basically do the opposite? Well, first of all, because go back to the beginning of the stream. You heard how I feel about the competency level of the people over there. It's almost as if they have none, or they're actually the exact opposite of that. Maybe they're just hyper competent and their goal is not actually to keep inflation under bay and keep the people employed, which is, by the way, the legal mandate of the Federal Reserve. In fact, if they were competent, or one could consider them to be hyper competent if they were doing the exact opposite of that. But no. I know what you guys are thinking. That would be, you mean that they'd be doing that on purpose? They'd be doing the opposite of what they are mandated to do on purpose? Now, why? Of course not, guys, right? Of course not. That would definitely not be happening, right? So definitely they're just incompetent people, right? People are making bets that the Fed is going to break the market with the rate hikes, and then the system's going to be way too levered, because it is, guys. We're all jacked up on Mountain Dew, and then they're just going to have to go the opposite way. Too much money, guys. Too much money has been created and has not even yet begun to be released into circulation. We had the most massive amount of money printing in the last 2 years that we're just now starting to feel the teeny tiny tip of the iceberg, right? And if you guys go back to my streams like a year ago, I was telling you guys, it literally is going to take 6 months to even begin to feel like 5% of this, right? Maybe 2 years after that, then we'll begin to truly see the atrocity of the money printing that they've done. New Horizons, society is crazy volatile. It probably won't be stable since the 50s. It probably hasn't been stable since the 50s. Yeah, true. Yeah, because that was the last time people used to still had families, right? Actually, roll and raise inflation. People that taken out a mortgage for rentals rugged. Yep. Possibly. Crypto is on a high, and then housing market crash would be a good day. Keep printing money. Right, because what other option do they have? Right? I mean, we could go into a deflationary spiral, but out of the two options, an inflationary collapse or a deflationary collapse, well, like one of them is going to be if you were a central banker, the inflationary is the path of least resistance, right? And we all know that people like to do the things that are the path of least resistance. New Horizons says the Fed only serves to its masters, which isn't the people. The Reserve isn't even a legal government entity. Facts. Unless I misread in the past, the Federal Reserve is private. No, sir. You are indeed correct. You're correct, Amundo, about this. They still haven't released the emergency rental assistance program yet. I think that's $600 billion right there. Yeah, dude. Oh my God. There is so much money that is still not been released yet, essentially. And I'm not talking about specifically money from the Fed. Yes, originally it originated there because they created this money. But there's a lot of money tied up and jacked up in all sorts of parts of this system that people lost the ability to dream. Neil D. Tyson. So, where did we see this before, guys? We saw this before in the 2008 housing crisis, housing collapse, the financial crisis, 2008, right? And then what happened soon after? Whoop, right back the opposite way. This is what the Fed did. Kick it down the road. We'll get to that later. What we'll actually do is we'll create some sort of worldwide disease to make everybody stay in their house and make everybody watch the TV, and that way we can destroy our own system and make everybody beg to come into a new system. What am I saying? That's just that's a conspiracy, guys. What? No, that's a conspiracy. So, guys, who is responsible for this? I think we all know the answer. The FEDERALRESERVE. And people are starting to wake up to this, guys. Not just us. Not just you guys watching this. People be waking up to it. Now, speaking of people waking up to this being the FEDERALRESERVE '' why don't you guys take a look here at something I found interesting on Reddit yesterday. I found this quite scrupulously interesting. Yes. Now, I don't know if I can put Reddit on here, but whatever. We'll do it anyway. Anybody see that? Did anybody see this on my Instagram story today? At the Tech Chief on Instagram, if you wanted to go see that. But hey, or you could look right here. Now, this is from 2 days ago, guys. I thought this was yesterday, but 2 days ago. Excuse me. It must have been just now, 48 hours ago. The Federal Reserve in D.C. What are they doing? Why are they putting a fence around it now? Yes. Yes. Distinguished Federal Reserve. Yes. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's almost like they it's almost kind of like they are afraid that someone's going to like come and storm their building or something. I don't know. Very strange. I wonder what people have to say about this. 328 comments. Let's see. Yes. Somebody says the fence is transitory. Yeah, transitioning into a wall soon. Okay, they erected the fence to protect retail investors. That's right, because we all know how much they care about us retail investors. Maybe there's a Nickelback concert, but will it continue to go up? It's to protect the Fed from BCG. They got an inside tip that the government is increasing defense spending. Ha 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 ha. Well, I think the best comment is this one right here, that the fence is transitory, because everything at the Federal Reserve is transitory, right, guys? Alex says you would think they would put, yep, Band-Aid for the midterm election. Yeah, that's what the interest rate heights. That's what the interest rate heights are for right now. It's just for it's not going to work. All they're doing is like they're basically taking like a baby in a cage and like shaking it back and forth over and over again. Like, no, dude, listen, Mr. Powell. Mr. Powell, listen to me. Listen, Mr. Powell. If you take a baby and you continue to shake it in a cage back and forth, it's going to die. Ain't going to live. You should probably stop shaking that baby, Mr. Powell. Well, there's an infinite amount of shaking at the Federal Reserve. Speaking of the Federal Reserve, I finally have it, guys.
1 year. 1 Big Mac. $1 million. This summer, Joe Biden, Janet Yellen, Jerome Powell are super inflators.
Shout out to Christian Soto, the maker of that super inflators video. I did the vocals on it, guys. I did that. I did that. Fact is stronger than fiction. Yes, it is, my friend. Remember when the capital would flow into art and architecture? Nope, me either. The city's been blocks my whole life. Hopefully, crypto will bring back culture. God, that would be magnificent if it did that, my friend. But you're that's a good point, dude. Yeah, hey guys, remember when they fixed the streets? Not me. They're about to announce something. No mo, baby. That's right. 1 Big Mac, $1 million, year 2028, friends. So I find it very interesting that they put that fence up at the Fed the other day. That's kind of strange, right? I mean, it's almost like they're like, what are they like? Were they preparing for something? Do they think that people are gonna realize that or get mad at them for some reason? Now, why would people get mad at the Fed? Could it be anything that we've talked about tonight? Certainly not, right, guys? Certainly not. You guys know. Maybe the fence is transitory, y'all. So what does crypto have anything to do with any of this, ladies and gentlemen? Well, one thing interesting I would like to point out to you guys. Take a look at your screen right here, if you can. Yes. It's from last week, guys. Bitcoin accumulation speeds up in historic surge of Bitcoin exchange outflows. So you guys can actually go into Glassnode. I think I've done a couple Glassnode streams before. I mean, we can see that on Glassnode that we're continuing to reach like we met a historic level of exchange outflows. We met another historic level of exchange outflows. We met another one, which meaning for people who don't know what that means. Basically, if you are using an exchange to purchase Bitcoin, which is basically where you go to buy Bitcoin unless you're buying it peer-to-peer. Like it should be done, but they don't do that anymore because it's just so darn easy to go through an exchange. Unlike stocks, commodities, options, whatever, you're not forced to keep. Oh my God, guys, the ceiling's falling on my face after I drilled holes in it. Focus, Josh. Focus. You're not forced to keep cryptocurrency in your exchange account because it is cryptocurrency. It is a digital asset, and you can just simply send it off the exchange like you can't do with a stock, like you can't do anything else. And one thing that people are practicing now, especially after the Canadian TRUCKER PROTEST, and people saying, hey, I don't trust things that I own, my money, my property, my stonks, even my cryptos, in some third-party custodian who is like a multi-billion-dollar corporation. We just don't. So recently, people have been moving their stuff out of exchanges at an alarming rate, and we keep hitting these higher peaks of this occurrence. So what does this say? With Bitcoin exchange balances at multi-year lows and whale-sized purchases by MicroStrategy and Luna Foundation Guard in this week's BTC, fundamentals are probably blah, 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 blah. Outflows from Bitcoin exchanges this week reached historic levels for the world's oldest and most sought-after cryptocurrency. In a weekly Blockchain Insight newsletter today, on-chain Bitcoin analyst firm Glassnode says, this is a quote from Glassnode, guys, we can see that exchange balances have also experienced a historically significant period of Bitcoin outflows in response to BTC whales and broader market, blah, 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 reaching an outflow rate of 96.2 thousand Bitcoin per month. Holy cannoli. Outflows of this magnitude are uncommon, happening only several occasions through history. With the Bitcoin price hovering at $45,000 at the time of this writing, there's an exchange outflow rate per month of $4.4 billion US dollars for the Bitcoin at today's market price on major exchanges. Very interesting. Wouldn't you guys contest to that? Bitcoin exchange outflows are continuing to reach new highs. Now, at least we forget, guys. Let's at least we forget the old boomer coin. There's only ever going to be 21 million whole Bitcoins that will ever exist. And what have we've already mined like 19 million? We're probably in the $20 million range now, right? John McAfee, who was quoted to say back in 2014 that 7 million had been lost. If we want to accommodate between 2014 and 2022, it's probably a little bit more than 7 million. Sometimes people just lose some hardware wallet, lose their seed phrase, whatever. It's gone. It's gone for good. It's gone for good. You can't inflate it. Can't create more. Everybody wants it because it is a monetary system of value that exists outside of this jacked up, horrendous, poor excuse of a poorly engineered system that we currently have and seeing falling apart before our very eyes. So I guess we can talk more about the crypto in a minute because that was kind of the point of this conversation. But before we take a look at deeper dive into the cryptos and what that has to do with it, why don't we try to explain to you guys the reverse repo market and why, taking a step back as well, there's a chance that we might end up going the opposite direction of raising rates to lowering rates to potentially being the negative rates, like we have so many puts for and options for sale. Excuse me, not put, so many options for sale. Now, take a look at this video right here, guys. This guy is Heresy Financial, and he's pretty cool. I subscribe to him, and I watch his content a lot. He's a very rational person, and he's very he's nuanced and he's young, guys. He's young, and he knows what's up with the old boomer coin. All right, take a look at this, my friends, or just have a listen.
Is when a bunch of money started getting sucked into this, and it's been fairly consistent around $1.5 to $1.8 trillion since late last year. Now, a little bit of a primer just in case you're new here on what is going on here. The repo market is very basically where banks go to get cash. At the end of the day, they say, hey, we need some extra cash. We've got a lot of treasuries or mortgage-backed securities, some collateral, but we don't have cash. So they go out to all the other banks and they say, hey, does anybody have cash? We will sell you our treasuries.
Now, how did the banks not have cash after having all this money printed? Let's listen. Let's see.
for cash, and then we promise to repurchase those treasuries at a future date. And for the most part, most of the other banks will say yes. Now, in a repo market crisis like we had in September of 2019, or what prompted the Lehman crisis, you either have not enough cash or bad collateral. So in both of those instances, everybody was going with their collateral to the repo market and saying, hey, we've got a bunch of collateral, we want to sell it. And then nobody wanted to take that collateral because either nobody had the cash or nobody liked that collateral. Now, the Federal Reserve has two repo facilities. They've got the regular repo facility and they've got the reverse repo facility. The regular repo facility is available now to many institutions, didn't used to be available to only a select few. And that was where those select few institutions could go directly to the Federal Reserve and say, hey, none of these other banks want to give us cash, so how about we do that with you? And the Federal Reserve started increasing the amount of institutions and the amount of cash they were offering into the repo market through that facility in September of 2019. Now, in the fallout of COVID, dealing with that, all the government spending, the inflationary financing of government debt, the trillions of dollars spent into existence, there was a cash glut. Too much cash entered the economy. And so the Federal Reserve didn't want all that cash to push interest rates negative, because all that cash eventually makes its way into bank accounts, and then it goes to purchase treasuries.
So what do they do to stop that from happening?
Or short-term government debt like bills and notes. And so they didn't want it pushing rates negative. That's a lot of cash going in to buy that debt that had the potential to push rates negative. So in April of 2021, the Federal Reserve started increasing the interest rates on the reverse repo facility. And you can see here, for this whole entire time, COVID started, and this entire time, the reverse repo rate was 0. They weren't offering any there. And then in June of 2021, they increased the interest rate to 0.5%. Now, I said that it started attracting the extra money in March and April of 2021, and that's because that's when the supplementary leverage ratio suspension ended. And so that's when banks were required to get their hands on collateral again, which they weren't before. And then you can see right about June here, it was right in here when they increased the interest rate that they were offering for this reverse repo facility. So in this situation, remember, it's the opposite of the repo crisis. In this situation, the entire financial system is saying, hey, we've got too much cash, we need collateral. And the Federal Reserve said, hey, come get your collateral from us instead of your cash. That's what repo is, come get cash. Reverse repo is come get collateral. They said, and we'll pay you a hefty rate, 0.05%. And so it sucked a bunch of cash into the reverse repo facility. Now, keep in mind, this money, if interest rates go back down to 0 in the reverse repo facility, there's $1.8 trillion in there that no longer wants to be there. It's there because it's getting free interest with no risk.
$1.8 trillion. So you guys can see this is like the Fed can use this as a mechanism to like suck and release massive amounts of dollars into the economy, right? It's not, this is one of their many tools that they have in their toolbox. All right.
And not only that, the Federal Reserve just increased the interest rate a month ago in this facility to 0.3%. They want to keep that cash in there until the very last moment, until they must release it, because this is a $1.8 trillion weapon that they can release and push out of there if they drop that reverse repo facility rate to 0%. All that money then floods back out and goes back out to buy other debt. Now you might be asking, hey, well, 2-year, 10-year, 30-year, way higher than 0.3% right now. Why is that not sucking money out of this facility yet? It's because of the liquidity. There's no risk here of buying a 10-year treasury and then having the price of that treasury fall while interest rates are rising. This is money that is needed for liquidity purposes. They need that guaranteed rate. They need it to be able to pull out at any point they want.
So I think that's enough of a point to be made. Like they have their own tools they use to suck and blow, because that's all they do over there is suck and blow. And you guys can see this back and forth policy that the Fed has of just continuously kicking this can of inevitability down the road. Now, Do you guys remember that new asset class we were just talking about? Cryptocurrency. A little bit different than other asset classes, right? A little bit easier to get in and out of. A little bit harder for someone to just take it from you like they could with your bank account or your real estate or your stonk portfolio or literally any paper commodity or anything that you own physically or in some sort of third custodial party, unless you're keeping yourself on Celsius. Shout out to Alex Machinsky. Yeah, crypto, that new asset class, right? One of the main characteristics of crypto, and let's talk about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the big daddy. Orange coin, number one. Like we just talked about earlier, it's finite. There's only 21 million of it ever going to be created. We have all the way until year 2140 to mine the last Bitcoin, and we only have like 1 or 2 million Bitcoin left to mine. Lots of it's lost. John McAfee quoted 7 million in 2014, probably a lot more than that now, but let's just say 7 million. So let's just say 21 minus 7 million, that's how much Bitcoin is left. So it's finite. You can't just go and create more of it like the Federal Reserve can with its cash. And Bitcoin's not the only cryptocurrency like this. There's lots more that are similar to it. However, it's the only one that I believe is truly finite in the sense that code's not getting changed. It ain't happening. Other digital assets, they have monetary policies that they can just change based off of some votes. Bitcoin, technically, you could too, but it's a little bit too far gone for that even to happen. It's immutable, so we can't lie about where and who and what is doing what with anything on the blockchain. You can't steal from it, right? You can't cheat it. It's permissionless. That's the big one. So if you're a Canadian TRUCKER, or 1 year you currently feel politically about something in type X, and then the next year, politician of type Y says that everyone that felt the way of type X needs to have all their money taken from them. If you have Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, they can't do that, like they did with the Canadian TRUCKERS, right? You can self-custody it. You don't need a bank. You don't need a vault to put your gold in or whatever. So you can carry it around on a little flash drive guy like this, peer-to-peer. So you don't really depend off of some kind of like third-party organization to allow you to send or receive these things. And also, like that video we were just watching, I believe that there's massive amounts of money that have yet to flow and do a lot of things. All right, not just crypto, but I believe that it's severely undervalued right now. That's right. I think a $40-something thousand Bitcoin is undervalued. And I think we've yet to see that rest of that money from all the printing even begin to touch and root its way through the catacombs of the prices of the world. So what do you guys think is going to happen to the dollar evaluation of these assets? And not just cryptocurrency too, guys. Like everything that is finite and wanted in some sort of resource, oil, real estate, whatever. What do you think is going to happen to the dollar evaluation of these prices of these assets if the Fed just suddenly swings back the opposite way, like we were talking about at the beginning of the stream? We know more and more people keep buying and keeping their wealth in crypto as opposed to cash, not just because of the belief set that these things are a quote unquote hedge against inflation, but also because literally the 1,500 different examples and reasons I explained here. At least we again mentioned the Canadian TRUCKER incident. People are just opting. We have the statistics to show at a historical rate to buy cryptocurrency, let's just Bitcoin specifically too, take it off an exchange and self-custody it. And there's less and less liquid Bitcoin exchanges or liquid Bitcoin available on exchanges. And we all know Bitcoin dictates the price of the entirety of the market, right? So this is not just for Bitcoin. This is for all cryptocurrencies. Maybe not, I don't know, Will Smith Inu token number 72, but hey. So put 2 and 2 together, my friends. Put 2 and 2 together. Now let's take a step back to 2008 and take a moment to remember what happened. Same thing, guys. The Fed is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Either way, they're kaput, but at least one way is the lesser of two evils to them. Right? Their little centralized system, it's falling apart. It never lasts this long. None of these fiat monetary systems last this long. We're not even on life support. We're on like quadruple life support. Like our money system is like our monetary system is like that old dude who's plugged in. He's got like 4 IVs in his arm. They're constantly feeding him like fluid and glucose, and he's got about like 5,000 milligrams of Adderall and Trenbolone acetate running through his veins, and then like about 30 Red Bulls, just to be able to keep his eyes open. Right, that is our monetary system right now. Okay, so what do you guys do to prepare for this kind of stuff? We can talk about that. Let's see. Cody Moose says, man, a lot of people are not going to make it. Yeah, this is for true. XC Roland says, more and more people buy Bitcoin. Less people believe in the dollar, Web 301. True. Every day, more and more people are waking up, man, and realizing what's going on. New Horizons says, oh my, is this people not trusting other people holding their assets? No, yes. Waiting for your Trezor? Ah, yes, indeed. Self-custody on crypto, my friends. Speaking of Trezor and Mr. Christian Soto, if you do actually want to be a sovereign individual and you want to self-custody your own wealth in the form of cryptocurrency, link in the description box below to get yourself one of these bad boys. You get $25 free of Bitcoin, and then a couple sats come to support Vine channel. Fire sign emojis indeed. Koya in the house. Horosho to you too, my friend. Horosho. Yen in the hoose. Fire sign emojis. Random thought. I wonder what would happen if all the printed money were to get burnoed. Well, the thing is, most of the money that was quote unquote printed, I mean, it's not like physical paper. It's just numbers on a spreadsheet. Like our dollar is digital. It's just numbers on a spreadsheet. Like you give the bank $100,000, they can loan out that $100,000 9 times. They can loan out $900,000 to people. Well, you gave us $100,000 times 9. We have $900,000. Yes. The Fed is stuck. Yes, says New Horizons. They dug their own hole, and not only to do is right for everyone, and what's going to survive society into the future. RIP. Yep. But that's why we got to be prepared, guys. That's why we got to be prepared. I mean, you guys. So speaking of that, what did people? If you're worried about this, if you are aware and you're paying attention, unlike the normie NPCs roaming the streets, 404ing all over the place, what do? Well, I mean, you guys already know. Like, you guys already know what I had to say about this. You know, learn to code or some other similar skill that gives you freedom of mobility and freedom of income. Learn how to change your own tire, literally. Be sovereign, guys. Like, learn how to do things on your own. Like, for example, and don't mean to fluff myself up, but drilling this curtain rod in the concrete ceiling, it wasn't like the funnest thing to do. But instead of me hiring somebody to come do it for $100, I want to be able to do that kind of stuff on my own. So I just learn it. Do something like that. Literally, anytime you guys have the option to do something yourself. If someone hits you in your car and you get a dent in your car, at least before you go take it to get fixed, try to fix it yourself. And don't fuck it up, but go look online and do some research first. But still, that's my point. Learn how to code. Learn to change your own tire. You guys know, self-custody your own crypto. We already talked about that. If you guys do want to learn how to code, developerdirection.com. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Like, you got to just wake up. Wake up, guys. Become sovereign. Get some kind of skill set that's going to make you future-proof. Take your money out of the bank. Shh. Take your money out of the bank. Shh. It's a bank run. Just kidding. Don't tell anybody I said that. I might get in trouble for saying that. Shh. Guys, take your money out of the bank and put it on a Trezor instead. Honestly, it's probably a literal better idea because it makes no sense to have your money in a bank. It makes literally no sense. Why? Who the fuck does that? Are you a boomer? Oops. Just do it. And by it, I mean everything. Yes, indeed. That is all I have for you guys tonight. I hope it was informative. I hope that helped somebody out there. And yeah. Yes, tomorrow I'm going to be going on Andrew from Legal Mindsets channel with your boy Yen over here for another episode of Redacted. So not on my channel tomorrow night, guys. That is it. And that is all. I bid you all adieu. My distinguished gentlemen. See ya.